Welcome to a short video on how to use Pear Deck as a formative assessment tool in the classroom. We're going to begin by opening in Google Slides. I'm going to pull up Google Slides from my Google Drive. We can go to a blank presentation. From there, you can create your presentation in Google Slides, or you can start immediately with Pear Deck. So I go to Add-ons, I go to Pear Deck. If you don't already have it, you're going to go to Get Add-ons. Pear Deck comes up here. That's not unusual. If it doesn't, you can type it in, click, and search for Pear Deck. Okay, once you have chosen it, it will show up on your screen. You can open Pear Deck. I'm going to wait for it to magically appear on the right side of the screen. So after it appears over here, you're going to have suggestions for slides for the beginning of the lesson, during the lesson, end of lesson. Pear Deck's object is to help you create a lesson that will be interactive with your students as a slide presentation. So not only do they give helpful slides with questions, but then the students can also interact directly with the slides. So I'm going to go to a presentation that I already created in Pear Deck. So it's in my Google Slides. I need to come up here to Add-ons. I need to go to Pear Deck, and I'm going to open Pear Deck. If we look at the beginning of the lesson slide, you'll recognize that this slide looks very much like the slide I have at the beginning. So I had taken this slide. You can edit the slides that they suggest in any way that you want. You can just use Google Slides, create your own slide, and then choose some of the other interactive add-ons. So with this slide, it says, did you learn something new about surface area and volume? The students not only read the question, they can interact with it. This has students choose an option. So they have a choice here. It's a multiple choice question. Yes or no, not a multiple choice. I could add another. I did not, so I'm going to cross that out. And then update the slide. I already have it, so I'm not going to update the slide. You can scroll back to the beginning. This is an example of a slide that I created without using their template. I chose the interactive option of drawing. Math frequently requires students to write numbers, use equations, use formulas, use pi, use symbols that might not easily be typed. So having the drawing option on the slide is actually very helpful. Not only can the students write and draw on the slide, but as the teacher, I can look at what the student has done. So if I go to the teacher login, waiting for it to load. I can go to sessions. I can go to a session that I've already had. This is one sample session. I can pull up the teacher dashboard. So these sessions can be run so that they are student-paced. So I ran a student-paced session earlier for the students to play with so I could show you some of these samples. They can also be run so that they are teacher-paced so the teacher can choose when the students get to go on to the next slide. So here, if I scroll, I'll see names of students who chose one answer or the other. You have a grid layout and an overlay layout here. Not much option with the yes and no choice. we come here, this is on the list layout. I can also do grid layout here. Another option, I can highlight choices, and the ones that I star can be either common misconceptions or they can be great examples, creative methods, and I can display those on the boards for the students. The names will not show, the work will be anonymous when it is portrayed up on the board. I'm going to go back to my slide presentation here. Another great aspect of Pear Deck, I can put a link into Desmos. Desmos and Pear Deck have worked specifically together to link up their program. So it's very easy to have the students link into Desmos, do an activity there, and then come back to the Pear Deck. Desmos will also enable you to go into their teacher mode, display their work on the board. In Desmos, you will have to choose to change the students' names and put their work up anonymously. Once students have finished this activity, they can come back to the Pear Deck presentation. This is an example of where the students can type. So they can type, you can choose numbers, websites, text, many choices on how to use this. Pear Deck was created by teachers, and so it's built with the thought of provoking thought, having students reflect upon their learning. So these critical thinking slides expand upon that and have the students write, draw, create, respond with the reflections on the work that they have done. I can type in a link to any other website. This is a link to a Google quiz. So I can go to my Google quiz, have students take a multiple choice format quiz, and this is a format where it's easier for me to insert shapes, insert equations, insert formulas. I can use the Equate.io editor here. Once students have responded there, once again, they can come back to the Google slide. The other nice aspect, as I was typing the words on the slide, Pear Deck came up with this lovely picture for me to insert. So it really works seamlessly and does not require a lot of thought and being creative and placing the backgrounds. And then these are a couple sample slides from our choices for the end of the lesson, how to respond, how to close the lesson, how to once again have students reflect on what they've learned. So these are all choices that come from this little right-hand scroll bar screen. Now if we look down here, if you are not familiar with Pear Deck at all and you want to just start the very beginning, this is where you're going to go. How Pear Deck works, it's a very short video. If you are familiar with Google Slides, it will not take you long to start creating a slideshow. When you want to know all the capabilities that it has for teacher presentation, for displaying work, for hiding student work, you can go to Pear Deck, go to their home screen, scroll up here to learn. There are examples, there are help videos. The help videos are short to the point, but very helpful in understanding how to apparently I was logged out again, how to look up the different options. So this is another place, getting started, teacher dashboard. You can go through slide presentations, you can go through video presentations. You can change your presentation back into a traditional Google slideshow. Students were excited about it. It's a good way to help them learn. Thoughtful presentation and many different options on how to see the student work as they're working, display, choose to not to display, choose to display some of their work. Have students go to different websites and then come back, interact with a quiz, have a traditional exit ticket that's digital through Google Forms. So many different options for the teacher. I hope you enjoy this short presentation and that you will be as impressed with all of the options available in Pear Deck.